Hey, y'all. We got Dave here. What's up? Good state coach.
It's good to see you guys. Excited about this week. The bye was good to us. A lot of energy in practice today. A lot of respect for the team that we're playing. Known Sonny for a really long time. Known Andy for a long time. They're a really good team. They had a tough one on Saturday. They're going to come out firing. It's tough to play at their spot. It's a big challenge for us. We're excited about the challenge. The guys are too. Take any questions you got.
Dave, you guys have had receivers making big plays all season long. Is this the deepest group of receivers since you've gotten here?
Yes. At this stage of the game, you invest. You choose where to invest in, and we invested pretty heavily in that group, and it's paying off.
How healthy are you after the bye, specifically Carl, Omar, and Brayson?
Omar's was back with us doing everything that he's supposed to be doing. Who else did you say? B-Wash doing everything he's supposed to be doing. Did not see Carl. Have to wait and see with him.
Dave, what about what does TCU do well? What's their biggest threats, I guess?
They're explosive on offense. When they don't turn the ball over, they are really effective at making explosive plays. And, they've got receivers that can make contested catches. They've got receivers that can catch the ball, make a guy miss, and go the distance. And quarterback is really calm and poised. He can beat you with his feet. I think the O-line's improving. I think the running backs, they've got a committee over there, but they're all very good players. And I think defensively they do a lot. They pressure you. There's a game plan of the week that they got, and it's going to be a challenge for us to run the ball versus all the movement that they got.
With those receivers that you brought in, was yard after the catch, was that something that y'all saw in them that could be because it's been really good in terms
of there's we tried to find complementary pieces to it. So there's you want to spread the field, and so you want to have the attention of more than one on one of ours. And sometimes that's going to be quick explosive guys. Other times that's going to be longer speed, contested catches. When it got to that point, it was, hey, let's take the best player available. But we wanted someone that is going to demand a double team and is going to demand cloud coverage, is going to demand an extra guy so that we could get all of them on the field at one time and, go by the numbers.
Coach, a lot of programs talk about winning the bye week. What specifically makes this bye week good for y'all? How would you constitute a win?
We did a lot of self-scout, and so we had our defensive staff do it for our offense and vice versa. And our special teams kind of assistants did it for special teams, and spent the majority of the week on that. Say, here, these are the tells that we're giving up. Here's all the weaknesses. Here's the strengths. All right, here's some possible places to go, kind of what you've shown on tape. Right, here's a way to kind of complement that look or to remedy the problem, So a lot of time on that. And then the drill work last week corresponded with that. So here's the issue, here's the problem, here's the solution, here's how we're going to do it. Let's go rep it. And so the majority of last week was all about us. So transitioning now to this week, it's kind of, hey, this is how it fits into what they do. This is where we can live in this area or in this phase of the game. So we're trying to connect it now.
Y'all were really good out of the bye week last year, and you mentioned that energy that you felt in practice today. Are there any similarities in the energy you feel now compared to kind of how you felt coming out of the bye weeks last year?
Well, I think what's similar is that the guys are hungry. I thought last year was kind of us against the world. It's kind of maybe that way still, but I think it's guys are hungry. Guys want to improve. They're looking for ways. They want to be coached. They want more. They want better. And so when it's like that, it kind of drives you as a coach to give it to them.
Connor Hawkins has now hit a couple of game-changing kicks. How have you seen him grow as a player, maybe in confidence and just as a player? Has your confidence kind of grown in him throughout the year?
Yeah, his confidence has been strong, and it's been that way really since the start of camp. I think prior to that, there's good days and bad days, but there's times where, I talk to Mark Scott and I go, and Mark's, I don't know about this distance, and then he gets next to Connor. He goes, "Hell yeah, we got this distance," and then Connor just has those vibes that come up that come off of him when he's in a position to make a big time kick, and so that's contagious, as we know, and we have a lot of confidence in him moving forward, and it's a big weapon for us. We go for it so much on fourth downs that sometimes all of that kind of gets swept under the rug, but when you need it, you really need it. I'm glad he's with us.
Do you get a little extra family time in a bye week?
My boy had a game, as I went to go watch him play on special teams, and it was a good game. We had a couple recruits there, and was able to watch them. But not as much, a lot of film time to be able to make the most of this week. You got to do all the legwork this past week. But it was nice to be able to have that time, though, with him. The drive to, you wanted to listen to all of his music on the drive to, you get hyped up. And so all that was cool to go to experience.
Dave, in the self-scout, was there specific things on defense that y'all saw that you can get better at, that kind of thing?
Yeah, we're getting a bunch of just irregular formations and motions and kind of things that fit kind of outside the box. I think you'll think Oklahoma State, but there's just different versions of that. TCU's been in the past a team that can very much do that. Up to this point this year, they haven't done that. We're fully expecting for them to do that versus us, and so to kind of have that knowledge and then to work on it and spend the time on it gives you the best chance come Saturday morning.
Has any of the guys who have been here and now gone through this rivalry for a few years, kind of what's their conversations like with guys who maybe this will be their first time, and what this game really means to just Baylor in general?
Yeah, it is. It's a big recruiting rivalry. It's we have a bunch of former players that this means a lot to. Our guys that are on our team now remember last year. We got a fair amount of guys that remember a couple of years ago, and it was a field goal the other way. And so a lot of really tight games, competitive games. It's tough to play there. They're fired up for this one.
Coach, a lot has been made about starting fast. You yourself talk about complementary football on both sides of the ball. 11 a.m. kick. How are y'all making sure your guys are ready to go, or does that come from within?
We talk about that a lot. Talked about it again today. We make a point of starting practice with some type of competition or good versus good. I think it's a mindset that you got to carry. The start fast thing really is that, hey, it's like when you run out to a game and there's smoke and you have to run through the smoke. You don't know what's on the other side of the smoke. Starting fast is running through the smoke, right? If it's all clear, you get to know kind of where to go. You're not going to run into somebody. You're not going to be the dude that causes a whole trample situation, right? But you got to run through the smoke. You don't know what's on the other side. That's starting fast. And so really feeling confident in what the schemes are and what their job responsibilities are, no matter what comes or whatever game plan thing comes our way, we're able to kind of play through it. So that's been the emphasis. We're going to continue to try to get that done.
Do you want the emotion of a rivalry game, or do you want them to block that out?
I think it's good to have. I think if it's always kind of underneath the surface of just real kind of focus and intensity and work and everything else, I think it's good. When it's kind of boiling underneath the surface, it's a good feeling because you know it's there, you know it's pushing people. I very much feel that way, and I'm sure over there they feel the same way. So this is a big one coming up.
The fan support of the last two home games maybe hasn't been the best. How important as you begin this next stretch is the fan support, and I don't know, do you have a message for those fans to kind of get them hyped up?
Yeah, you know, for us, like the focus is really this game coming up, and so you know, there's some coach, some players this morning, they were bringing up, you know, watching games and seeing all of it, and I kind of jumped on them, man. Hey, we're on the road, we're playing this team. It's going to take everything we got, right? This is where teams fall off and teams separate, and we're all about separating. I know they're saying the same thing over there, so this is going to take everything we got to be able to go out there and play well. And then we do that, come on back here, we can talk about what you're talking about here.
Dave, Sawyer's never been a me guy, and this is probably not a fair question to ask, but with the numbers that he's put up, should he be in the Heisman conversation?
You know, I think he's going to continue to win. I think he's going to continue to be in moments where he's going to shine. I think so. Yeah. I think, you know, I don't think there's going to be a moment that's going to be too big for him. And I think this team is going to fight for him, and they're not going to let him down. And I think you put him in a situation where there's a chance to win it, he's going to win it. And so I think it's only going to get bigger.
Getting back in the building today after the bye week, does it seem like the guys maybe are just a little bit refreshed? And I mean, just how ready are they to get back on the field too?
I think that's a good word. I thought I could feel that right from the very beginning. We had chapel to start off today, and so there's a lot of energy there. Guys are excited to be back. I think having the time off or just the chance to kind of exhale is good. A lot of work to do, and so they're all excited to get to it.
Back to Sawyer, as his profile kind of rises, has he changed?
No. I just don't believe he ever will. Yeah, I think he's special. I think we can't take him for granted. I think his impact on our team and on our players, on our student body here, you can't measure. And you know, I think he's all of that. And the best is yet to come for him too.
They're different people, but can you make some comparisons with Joe Burrow and what you saw from him that year?
When Joe was your quarterback, you always felt like you were in it. You always felt, hey, give him a chance. You know, I think Joe had really good weapons. We do too. I think those two things. I think Joe's a little bit of a different guy, and everyone loves Joe. And so Sawyer and Joe personalities probably different ends of the spectrum. But in terms of competitor, in terms of being up here all the time, watching tape and putting time in, and in terms of having weapons and being able to get the ball to them and use them the right way, I think those things are right on. Okay.
Thank you,
guys.
David.